single auto tip. Oh, thank you, Tanya. So we've got our raw dates. I was under with those ones. And then we've got a green apple. So 4 ingredients, popping them all in. And all we're going to do is we're going to do 2 1-second blitzes. So this is similar to your Kenwood food processor, where you can do that pulse, or any other food processor that you can do pulse. So we press play one. Stops. And it's done for us. Gives us a really fun little tune. I hope you can hear that. And then we go on to next, and that's it. So it literally took us 2 seconds, and we've gone from whole ingredients to the most beautiful fresh muesli that we can be putting on anything or within anything. So I will dress that up, make it look a little bit pretty for the very end. And we've got back to Tanya, and I think we are starting with our morning tea.
Yeah. So let me find me here. Okay. So now we want to go in. So to get out of this screen here, all we need to do is to scroll down to our control center and take ourselves out of that recipe. So we're going to go over to our other recipe now. So we're going to come back up and we're going to go back to our home screen and back to our cooking list for today. So who has made buttermilk scones before? Pop it in the chat. We need to know who's been making these babies, because I like to make these as simple as possible. So we're going to go in here, same again, all of our information is in here. It even tells us we need an oven, which is nice to know. Right the way down, we've got all of these amazing tags. So remember that when you see a tag, this is something that you can search by on Cookie-Doo. So we've got vegetarian, nut-free, European, autumn, spring, summer, winter, basically year round, right? Yeah, lemonade scones are great as well. Every day, and there's also a video inside this by the sounds of it. So let's go through and see what we can find. So we're going to preheat our oven to 220 degrees. I'm totally right on top of that. Line a baking tray, sure thing, and we've got our ingredients here. So in here, I've already popped in our self-raising flour, our caster sugar, and our sea salt. So we're going to pour all of that in. And if you didn't see it, just here on the screen, it actually showed me pouring it in. So the green went up to where the level was. So we can add those, are all added. And then we just need our butter. So our butter's going in there. This one we're not going to make more of because we don't have self-control. So this is going to stay exactly where it is, approximately. It's an approximate. Next, mix. So it's just a matter of adding our lid and pressing play. Okay, so now for the fun part is that I don't think I've ever done this recipe with buttermilk. Can you see what you would usually do with this recipe is have to use your fingertips to turn all of that into breadcrumbs. So you can see here, there is not a piece of butter in sight. That has all been breadcrumbed down in just 8 seconds. So if you haven't done bread scones in here yet, you need to think about it. So that's going on. Let me just move my flowers out of the way here a bit. And we want to add our buttermilk. Now, I'm just using normal milk because we've got it in the house all the time. And this is something that we make when someone turns up and, you know, we need something to feed them. So simple. So a little bit of milk. And we're going to pour that in. Now I'm going to show you the fun part. If you can follow this, let's see how close to 320 I can get. Just going to tear off there. 320. Now, no judging, right? Now, watch the screen. That has just ticked it off for me. Next, we're going to combine. So you can imagine you could do this, oops, with our little bowls that I just showed you that come in the set of 3. And you can press play, or you can be doing this. Now, you can actually make your own buttermilk if you wanted to, or you can buy it from the store. Or when you are making your own butter out of cream that's going slowly or about to go off, you can actually use the buttermilk from that. So it's a really great excuse to be able to make scones. So next time you see cream on sale, grab all of it, because you can make your own butter. You can pop it into the freezer and you can turn that butter into all sorts of stuff. So lemon butters, citrus butters. I usually use it to make hollandaise, to be honest with you. You can make your garlic butters, herb butters. You can fill this butter up with whatever you like. Garlic butter is really good for when you're cooking your steaks. You can throw that into your pan, pop your steak on, and you've got that little bit of extra flavor going into it. So 20 seconds of being in your Thermomix looks like this. Now, I want to show you just how sticky this recipe is. Okay, it's really, really sticky, but I want you to not add more flour just yet. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of adjusting here so that I can show you what I've got. Would you be able to grab that self-raising flour back out? I forgot to keep it out. Okay, now hopefully we can get this into position. So I've got our mats here. There's all sorts of mats. Oh, just get the big container, sorry. Just that one just there. This one? No, that one on the shelf. Yep, on. Thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our dough, no, the mega big one, and we're just going to wiggle our blades. Okay. So I know some people like to remove the blades and let them fall out. You can do that. There's actually a little dial on this other side that you can just release this across, and that's how we let our blades out and let our bowl come out. No, just the one next to it. And you can see that we have still got a whole bunch of mess in there. Now, the great news is that just grabbing my, yep, that's the one. So we're just grabbing our spatula. Now you can stand this spatula up. You can also lie it on its back to be able to not touch the food. But I'm just going to get in here behind the lowest blade. So the flattest blade, I'm going to pop my spatula with the soft side to the outer of the bowl, and I'm just going to follow that around. So as we follow that around, you can see that that's coming out beautifully. We'll go around the edges as well. And now for the next part, we want to be able to throw that back onto the Thermomix. Pop our lid on. And you can see that the lid's on by the picture. Now I can go straight into manual mode and into the star. I can go into manual mode, and I'm just going to pop this on for 2 seconds at speed 8. Now I'm going to go back into our recipe And you can see down the bottom here, it's still saying that we're on 7 of 14. So it's going to take me exactly to where we were. So let's go into here. Oh, if I can get the lid off. And you can see that that is all off, completely done. So we want to make this nice and quick. You can imagine if you were trying to make scones without a Thermomix, just how messy this would actually be. We'd already have it everywhere, but we don't have to worry about that with our Thermomix. Because the Thermomix cleans itself and it has got a dough mode. So we can pop that in for a pre-cook on dough mode. Now, the way I like to do this, and I'm just going to pass this over, because like I said, it does come with its very own washer or upperer today. What I'm going to do is actually just put some flour on my hands and then just pat this into a rectangle. So I want to leave this so that it is really still quite sticky. I've found that people who add too much flour to it end up sort of saying, oh no, it was no good. It was just too dry. But I promise you, if you can do it like this instead, you're going to love life. So we've got our bits here, okay? Now you can also dip in. Now, if I wasn't using my own stuff, I would be doing this in different containers, but I like to just flour up this and go straight through the middle here. Okay, flour it up again. And we're just going to make a little bit of a gap and flour it up again. And we're going to do the same going through this way. Now you can make these as big or as little as you like. I'm going to make them decent sized ones. Now, if I was to pop this into a container that was quite squarish or rectangle-ish like these are, it's going to go up and it's going to make that nice shape here. But because this is just for my family and I'm gluten-free, so I can't eat them, they're getting whatever shape I give them. Is that fair? I think.
Rustic. They're beautiful.
I think they need rustic in their lives. So we can separate these up. Now, you're just going to wait until they're nice and cooked. So we're going to pop them into the oven. Luckily for me, my Thermomix still works, even with this. However, if you need circles, there is a little video on exactly how to do that. So you can actually search videos and find all of the different Thermomix recipes that have videos within it, and it'll have lots of little tutorials for you to jump up. What you'll also notice too is that my hands are nice and gross, but nothing else is. And you can play with this screen as much as you like with the TM7. It doesn't matter if it's completely wet, oil all over it, or whatever it might be. Someone's stealing stuff in the background. Wait, can't wait. They've stolen chips. Definitely can't wait for the scones to come out, apparently. So yeah, we can jump on and have a look at any of those. So that's going to keep on going through and tell us how to cook it, etc. But you can follow those steps on your Cookie Do app. So we are going to go back over to Dorothy.
Hello. So when we're thinking about morning tea, today we've obviously done scones, but we could be using our Thermomix to also be making that whipped cream. Did you know you can actually make your own jams? So looking up in Cookie Do Jam, you're going to find hundreds of recipes, completely guided, so you don't have to know what you're doing. You can just blindly follow. We have, especially in strawberry season, the strawberry jam. It has a green apple in it. It's absolutely beautiful. Shows you all the techniques as well. So if you are thinking about making some sweet treats, then definitely using the categories inside of Cookie Doo. You can actually press on sweet desserts or baking, and it will actually bring up so many options so that you can be inspired to actually make some new stuff. So coronation chicken is what we are going to use as our lunch showcase. So a couple ways you can do this. If you've ever used the Varoma on your Thermomix, and if you've never seen a Varoma before, it's the steaming top. What we actually did was, or earlier today, just to save time, is I've steamed some chicken thighs. So they were on here for about 20 minutes. If you are making something below, similar to curries, something with a lot of liquid that's got a long cook time, you could actually be using your Varoma to put extra food, extra protein, and extra veg on top. And this is a really great extra that you could be making. Say you've got your pumpkin soup for dinner, you could actually have some extra chicken in top, 20 minutes, and then you've got your lunch filler. So this one's a really good bonus cook so that we're not using all of our time. So when I press start on the coronation chicken, it's actually giving me the instructions on how to do the steamed and shredded chicken. So let's imagine that I was really organized and at dinner time I actually did my extra chicken so that we're going to do our lunch already. So we've put our water in, we've popped our chicken into the Varoma. As you can see, our scales are on the screen, so we don't have to weigh things and transport in. It really means everything is contained to what we are doing. When we were steaming our chicken, it's 25 minutes. I actually used thigh instead of breast, so we were done in about 20 minutes. And you can easily do that if you do have a long cook on something else. So we could do next, or we can actually keep going using our scroll finger and actually get down to where we want to start. So just for anybody who is interested, if you have chicken and you want to do it shredded, your Thermomix can do that. It is speed 4 for 10 seconds on reverse. So we'll make a note of that in the email, but it means that you don't have to sit there with your forks. You can actually let your Thermomix do it in 10 seconds for you, save up the washing, save on time. So with our TM7, we can press set as current step, and it actually brings all of our settings up. When we take our lid off, the digital twin recognizes that, pairs our scales for us, which is really novel. And so we're actually going to start with some fresh parsley. My family don't like raisins in food, and it's also peanuts for this section as well. So with any guided cooking, if you don't like it, just skip it. Raisins are very much a part of this recipe. Coronation chicken always has raisins in it, but for us, we're just not going to eat it. So we get to leave it out. Nobody's marking you. So 3 seconds. Chopping that parsley down into next to nothing. How long do you reckon it would take you to hand chop parsley? Would it be 3 seconds? Probably not. And before we actually started tonight's demo, I actually made my own mayo. So did you know that your Thermomix can make mayo? Using some egg, some oil, salt, and a little bit of vinegar. And then we've got fresh mayo ready to go. So this is going to be the base for our coronation chicken tonight. And if you've ever had warm focaccia bread dipped into mayo, you know that you're going to be addicted. So again, we'll put all of these little side recipes into the email that will get as a follow-up. So you don't need to write anything down, but it does taste delicious. So ticking that one off again. So we're going to add our reserved chicken. So this is about 500 grams of fresh chicken. Obviously, we then cooked it and reduced it down. So it's a little bit less. Okay, so it's now asking for curry powder. Again, have you ever made your own curry powder? You may find that the curry powder that you buy is at Keen's, the orange one. Is that what it's called? Anybody from is it Keen's? I don't know. Can actually be
Definitely Keens.
It's definitely Keen's. Can actually be really quite spicy, and some people really don't like it. So in your cookie dough app, look up curry powder, and you can actually make it yourself. So saving some money, getting some way nicer flavors in your food, and I promise you will definitely know the difference because that smells phenomenal. So we just need,
Trust me on this. That curry powder is divine.
yeah.
I will
It
never
even like
take
it
that.
smells great. So we're going to do 2 teaspoons of that, a little bit extra for joy. Our next ingredient is turmeric, which if you do have a Thermomix, you'll know that it is sometimes hard to get the turmeric color off of your lid. Does anybody know the trick to get the turmeric stain off the top of your lid? Anybody?
Mm.
So
Put
if
it
you actually leave it, yeah, if you leave it in direct sunlight, within about an hour, all of that stain will be completely gone. No detergent, no scrubbing, super simple, and it doesn't mean you have to put in any effort at all. Love that. So we've got some salt and also some pepper. And then we're going to mix 30 seconds, speed 1. So you can see we've just literally added everything on top of each other. Popping our lid on. Little green play button comes on when everything is secure. And that's actually going. So I don't think it's not going to pick up at all. But at speed 1, you cannot hear the motor at all. It's silent.
So think about all the different things that you could actually be making in your Thermomix as staples. When you think about flavor, if you're someone who really loves to cook, this is what's going to take your recipes to the next level. Having that homemade mayonnaise, having that gorgeous, gorgeous curry. That looks so good.
So super quick, super easy. If we had done this as part of our dinner to lunch combination cooking, it literally would have taken us 5 minutes. Chuck everything together, pop it into the sandwiches. The kids will love it. If they're not into the curry powder, if you've ever had shredded chicken with mayo, oof. And it's great for a sandwich filler because it does store beautifully in the fridge as well. And that's lunch done too.
How amazing is that? So you can actually make a whole bunch of chicken for the week, flavor some of it for the adults, keep the rest of it just plain for the kids. But shredded chicken is something that's really easy. You can pop it into the freezer, have it on pizzas. So shredded chicken is definitely a time saver and something that you'll love. Flavor that chicken however you want to flavor it. It's completely up to you. The sky is the limit. So, I think that Dorothy is probably going to be quite full very soon.
Yeah, I've got quite a lot. Did you want to do a little bit more of the Mongolian chicken, and then I might do a little cookie do while we're working in between? That's it.
Amazing. So let's get back into our Mongolian lamb. So we've just got home from work. Pooped. Wish somebody else would cook dinner. Here we are. You could have just thrown this in as soon as you got home, gone and had a shower, come back out again, and keep on going. It does say to put it in there at least for an hour. Never, ever have I done this. When I chose organized on my screen, I was lying. So we are going to add our brown onions cut into halves. They're all going into there. Now, remembering, and I haven't done it, we're going to go back to this recipe because I forgot that I had changed it to 6 servings. So let's get back in here. Yeah, I'm going to close that old recipe of mine that I was doing. And we're going to start with the 6 recipes. So I'm going to go back down to where I was and get started. throw those in. Onion, garlic, you really measure that stuff with love, don't you? So that's exactly what I've done. Now we have got a peanut allergy here, so we just use normal oil. So I can cross that off, and that also tears the scales. And we're doing 60 grams of the oil. Oh, look at that. Everyone cheer. Yay, right on. Does anyone else celebrate when they get right on? Or are we the only weirdos? Please tell me I'm not the only weirdo. Pop
No,
a
I'm a weirdo with you.
excellent, excellent.
If that's any consolation.
Well, I already knew that from you. So
Thanks,
lid
Jessica, making us feel seen.
goes on because it told me to, and we can press play. How good's that? So, who loves the fact that we can chop onions in our Thermomix? Check that out. That is completely and utterly chopped. I think you'll agree with me, yeah? So, chopping onions in your Thermomix is never to be forgotten about. Also, the weighing of your Thermomix. How amazing is it to be able to weigh? I think it's things that Thermomix owners start to take for granted. What I loved about the Thermomix, I took the Thermomix to a house that had a 7-year-old little autistic girl who was absolutely gorgeous. We're putting that on for 5 minutes. Absolutely gorgeous. And she was able to do all of the cooking mainly via the photos, to the point where when it was the adults' turn to do the cooking, she started coming over and rushing them because they were taking too long, because they were reading and she was watching. So I love that this is something that's really going to give independence to these children. As they grow up, they're going to be able to learn how to cook safely, which is fantastic. So 5 minutes here. Now, what you can hear of the cooking in the background there is exactly what I can hear here. I can absolutely hear nothing right now. As a matter of fact, the only way that I know that this is cooking is because there is a light underneath here. So you can see that light on my fingers in the screen where in the top screen. For me, it might be bottom or side by side here. But you can actually see that pulsing on my hands. That's the only way that I know that it's cooking and that it's getting hot. Now, even though it's getting hot, we can touch this entire bowl safely. So everything is now safe to touch, which is fantastic. So we've got 3.5 minutes here of this happening. In the background, I have got, allow. In the background, I have got my scones. So they're about to go into the oven. And I know that we want to check them after 10 minutes. So I'm just going to bring down my little control screen here, my little cooking center. I'm just going to hit the timer. And I'm going to put that on for, whoop, if I can get back into it without knocking it out. I've put it on for 3 minutes. Let's not do that. Timer. We're going to put this on for 10 minutes. Go. And that's going to call me back when we're ready for it. So let's go over to Dorothy. Now, where did Dorothy go? Here she is.
Okay. Which screen am I? Can you see my share screen or can you see me or just my arm? Nothing. Can you see Cookie Doo?
I can see Cookie Doo. Go for it.
Yeah, oh, sweet. Okay, so we've spoke lots about Cookie Doo tonight, and it is because it is our Thermomix Google, let's call it. So anything that you are trying to find to cook in your Thermomix is right at your fingertips using your Cookie Doo subscription. So we are just on the home screen here, and you can see it's recently had a revamp, all thanks to our beautiful TM7. And you can actually click on categories. So, like I said earlier, if you are looking for some morning tea or some snacks or soups, you can actually press on one of these, and it's going to go through the whole catalogue of baking sweets, and we have nearly 13,000 recipes. So some of these will not be in English because my English is turned off. So let's put English language on. If you can speak other languages, of course, you're going to get a lot more. And if you can speak German, you've got nearly 100,000. So definitely worth learning German. So we can see baking sweet, we've got cinnamon rolls, we've got fudge cakes, we've got Welsh cakes, Boston buns, and these are constantly being added to as well. So you will notice that your cookie dough number of recipes will just keep going up and up every month as new collections are added. Of course, we do cater for allergies, so gluten-free, heaps of recipes for those, as well as dairy-free, nut-free, perfect for lunch boxes, and everything like that. So when we click on a recipe, you'll actually be able to see all of the details similar to how we were looking at them on our TM7 screen. So very beautiful. You can press cook today and the magic happens where it'll actually sync with your machine and it will just arrive in your calendar. So we can see serving size, we can see the ingredients, all of those tips that we mentioned earlier, and even the nutritional values. So obviously baking sweets not going to give us much of the good stuff that we may be looking for if we are looking into more of the health side of cooking with Thermomix. But at least it does give you the kind of estimates that you need to know what is going into your food and how it is going to work for you. So in here, like I said, you could press cook today and it would jump over to our calendar. When we're using our calendar, we actually have the option to add it to any day of the calendar. So whether that is tomorrow, whether that is in a month's time, whether that is November the 1st, which is your wedding anniversary, you can add it in to your calendar and be super organized. So let's say we're going to add it in for tomorrow because we are going to make these horseshoe cakes tomorrow. So you can see 5 stars, 6 ratings. It looks good. It's going to take us 10 minutes of Thermomix touching. So for us to actually be in front of your Thermomix, 10 minutes only. And that's what we like, definitely. Total time, 1 hour, and it's going to make 30 slices. So if we are making this tomorrow, I'm going to need my ingredients, aren't I? So let's press add to shopping list. So for a lot of people, actually meal planning can be the most strenuous part of running a kitchen. And it's just because it's a lot of mental adding, a lot of mental weight, where we can actually now press on our shopping list and all the ingredients for those horseshoe cakes have been split into the categories that you would get from your supermarket. If we put a main dish in there and it's got veggies, our veggies are going to be sorted into our fruit and vegetables, as well as our meat section, our deli section, and all the things like that. So you can actually go through this and tick off the things that you already have so that you're only shopping for the things that you don't. This way we're going to be saving some money because we're not over shopping. We're going to reduce our waste because we're not going to have 4 heads of broccoli when our recipe only calls for 1. And it means that we're also a little bit more in control of what's coming in and out of the house, as well as what's going into our food. So if you know that you want to make your own butter, you can tick off that section because we know we're going to be making our own butter later. So I love this because we can add an entire week's worth of groceries to this. We can have the whole week planned. We can have dinners, lunches, snacks, like everything we've made today. We can have all those ingredients. And then you can take this list with your phone to the supermarket. Or you could press order ingredients and you could send it to Woolies. So if you are somebody who has a busy day, you could be doing this on the bus. You could be doing this at footy practice for the kids. And then you can even do click and collect or direct to boot or even deliver to your home so that you're not having to actually go out and do your grocery the hard way. You could actually get it going. So when we are looking at cookie dough,
I'm just going to steal your spotlight there for a moment,
For sure.
Dorothy, so I can pop this food on because some of us, can I get you to stop sharing just for a moment?
Sure thing.
Thank you. So, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get that on. So all of these ingredients literally take up this much room. So these are all staples that you can have in the cupboard at all times. So we have got the sambal oelek. They don't actually have that at Coles anymore. That is like a chili kind of a paste. You could add whatever you wanted here. You could just add literally anything to the flavor that you need, or you can leave it out. We've got our hoisin sauce. We've got our Chinese five spice. We have our rice wine vinegar, and we have our sesame oil. So I'm going to throw in all those liquid ingredients. I'm going to need a spoon to help get out that hoisin sauce. Yum. And I've already popped in, it did ask for all of the lamb. So I'm going to show you that in just a moment. And that's our five spice. So we've just popped all of that in. So now one of the ingredients that went into that lamb marinade was bicarb. So if you know with Asian style cooking, there is usually bicarb that goes onto the meat. It makes it just that so tender, and it doesn't have to be on there for long. So using that within your meat, it may be something that you wish to trial on other dishes if you found the meat a little bit too tough for you. You can trial that. However, you can, if I can see without moving this out of the way, so you can also, this could be a recipe that you want to change to high heat. You could be looking at the high heat recipes as well. So with Thermomix 7, you can actually go straight into a high heat mode, and you can cook straight into high heat. So this is going to go on for 6 minutes. The next thing that's going to happen is we're going to scrape down the sides. We're going to check the seasoning, and then we're going to cook it for another 1 and prolong the time to up to 3 minutes. Now, because I have taken it up to 6 to serve 6, I'm actually going to increase that time when we get there. So basically, we're looking at another 6 plus 3 minutes, and this dish is done. And that is all of the time has been in the marinating. If you wanted that cooked a little bit more, you can pop it in for a little bit longer. But our scones need to be checked soon, and there's a little bit more awesomeness coming from Cookie Do. But I think before we do that, we might have to organize dessert.
I think it is dessert time.
I think it is too. Let's have a look at dessert.
So, if you have had a Thermomix for a long time, there is a 9 out of 10 chance that you were won by the custard. And for anybody who makes custard by hand, I'm going to change your life. So custard in the Thermomix is 10 minutes total, but 5 of those is completely hands-free. Basically going to chuck everything in. The machine is actually going to use a thicken mode. So it's actually a manual mode that you can use in all of your recipes if you want to take them up to the next level. And it's actually going to test the thickness of our custard to make sure that it is perfectly formed. So we can press start on here. The first thing is some lemon zest. So I've just got that into a bowl. Nothing exciting with that one. You can easily leave that out if you don't love lemon in there. And then we have got sugar. So I haven't done the lemon zest of a whole lemon because we're not awfully lemony people. But we are going to do sugar because we do need some sweetness. So it does say here 60 to 100 grams. So you have that ability to take the sugar right down or pop it back up depending on your palate, depending on what you like to taste. Or if we are feeding children and things like that and we are a bit sugar conscious, we could be changing this sugar into an alternative like monk fruit sugar. And there are a couple other alternatives like coconut sugar as well. I haven't tried those. We just go with plain old raw. But this first section is actually going to change our raw sugar into icing sugar. So we are going from just the 3 kilo bag of cheap sugar from Woolies, and we're actually going to use our Thermomix to make us money. So if you've ever bought icing sugar, you'll know that it's about 3 times more expensive per kilo than raw sugar is. So why pay the supermarkets to do it when we could do it ourselves?
Who else has got some really great cost-saving tips that they get from their Thermomix?
So in 20 seconds, we have gone from raw sugar all the way down to the finest powder of sugar. So if you aren't using your Thermomix yet to make your pantry staples, we can make our icing sugar, we can make our caster sugar from raw. We can also do brown sugar by adding molasses. And that way it means one product we're buying from the shops and creating what we are making. Thinking about milling, the smell of the lemon and the sugar is just, oh, yum. I'm glad I'm getting the custard tonight. Sorry, Tanya.
Cheater.
Other things that we could be milling, rice flour. Does anybody know what rice flour is made out of? Great question. It's just rice. So if you've ever bought a box of rice flour and you've used 20, 30 grams of it, it's gone into your pantry, it's got full of moss, we don't need to do that anymore. Rice sugar is actually really expensive for literally the cardboard that it comes in. So we can actually be milling our own rice, making our rice flour on the spot so that we're not wasting our precious money, and also we're not wasting food either. So it's about a minute for your long grain rice down to rice flour, and we just mill the amount that we need, which is always good. So that was our corn flour going in. We've got 2 eggs going in, ticking them off, and 500 grams of milk. And again, we've got that beautiful vintage style dial that's going all the way around. I found that the jump from the TM6 to the TM7, my kids are definitely enjoying being able to add it and see it going up, as well as the green of the animation as well. There is actually a line where you can meet it visually as well as numerically. So great for little kids who particularly don't know their numbers or can't read, because they can now use that picture to actually get it perfect. Ticking that one off, pressing next. So now we are going to do 7 minutes, 90 degrees. So knowing that our Thermomix can do exact degree temperature means that we're not going to spoil food. We're not burning milk on the bottom of the saucepan anymore. We're not boiling stuff over. We're not having to adjust the heat. Super simple. Popping our lid on, pressing play, and we'll see you in 7 minutes.
Let's go back to cookie do, shall we? Can you believe that we have done all of these dishes? Dinner's nearly ready from start to finish. An entire day's worth of meals in an hour. Like, seriously. It's out of control.
I don't actually know. Can you hear me at all now, or is it blocking me out?
Nope, can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
What I might do is just move this over here, and hopefully you can see my sink now, which is super exciting. So when we are looking at cookie dough, we want to make sure that our filters are correct. So we want to know what model machine you're using, because then it's not going to be pushing the newer machine to you, so that you're getting all the types of recipes that you can do, and also the language that you can speak. You can select all of your English language countries, so places like the UK, Australia, Malaysia, and I do know some consultants that prefers to do it that way. I do English language, and it actually gives me nearly 13,000 recipes. So knowing that I can type basically anything into Cookie and it's going to find me something just means that I can meal plan for the week. I can be inspired for something new, but also I can find stuff that I need. And that can be a big problem for some people who get Cookie and have never shown how to use it. So we have looked at the recipe cards. We have looked at making shopping lists. We have even ordered our ingredients at this stage. And it just means that everything that we need is here. But what if we wanted to use Cookie for something we didn't know particularly what we wanted? And this is where the magic of Cookie happens. So when we press on our filters, we can actually use those categories like we did earlier to narrow down our search. So say we are planning for dinners for the week. We're going to do pastas, rices, and meat dishes. It's gone from 13,000 or just shy of to 2,440. A little bit easier to manage. We can then go a little bit further as well. If you have ingredients in your fridge that are next to death and need to go in the bin tomorrow, or hopefully we can save them from the bin, you can actually pop them in here. So say you had some chicken thigh fillets that were definitely their final day. Excuse me. You can actually toggle that, and it's now dropped us down to 81 recipes. So it's filtering through the whole catalog for just the things that we are looking for. If you wanted to go even further, you can actually add multiple ingredients as well. So looking and shopping your pantry rather than having to go to the shop every time you want to eat. This is gold, this section here. So we've got excluded ingredients. So if there's anything that your family cannot have or they have a strong opinion about, you can always pop it in there. But knowing that if it is in a recipe, just leave it out. You have the ability to do that. Tags can be really fun. So there's a couple examples here: everyday, autumn, winter, spring, summer. We can put gluten-free in here. We can put Christmas. We can put party. Lots of different things so that we could find recipes that for the events or the types of foods that we're wanting. I don't listen to difficulty. There's nothing hard about using Thermomix. So preparation time is how much time we are touching our Thermomix. So if you are somebody who is time poor, this is your favorite section because you know that you need dinner finished, start to finish, in under 30 minutes. The post-it's going a little crazy. So that's now brought us down to 14. So definitely a little bit easier to look through these recipes and find something that you would like to eat. So the Thai green curry chicken looks incredible. Curry chicken and apple salad. So we do have sides in here as well. And we also have things like shredded chicken taco filling. So you could be marrying up your time to be able to prep and feed. So popping that one up to a bigger serving size means that we're going to get a lot more options for lunches. And that is Cookie Dough. So there are a couple more that we didn't quite get to. So portion sizing, big families, small families, cooking for yourself. And of course, ratings as well. If you are somebody who needs it to be good every single time, tick that 5-star rating. And it's going to make sure that those ones are tried and tested and that you're not wasting anybody's time. Just know, though, that some recipes are brand new and haven't been reviewed very many times because they may be brand new. But there's some beautiful examples of some food that I definitely haven't tried, including some steps that are going to really take your food to the next level. So that is Cookie Dough in a very, very quick nutshell. If there is anybody who struggles with Cookie Dough and you do need more support, I do offer once a month a Cookie Dough Zoom class. So similar to like we're doing tonight, going through talking about filters, making sure that everything is working for us. Because if you love Cookie Dough, then the world is literally at your fingertips and you can eat whatever you want. So coming back.
Trying to get myself off mute here. How's your custard going?
I do have about 2.5 minutes. It got very loud, so I paused it.
Oh, that was for you to concentrate.
It was. I was like, I think I'm yelling.
So on the screen here, you can see that we're in the manual cooking mode. Um, we've got a whole bunch of things that we've had for a while now, which are things like our pre-clean. One of my favorite is obviously egg boiler mode. There's nothing better than this mode. It is worth having a Thermomix just for that. So you actually choose how you like your egg to be, and then literally just press, once your Thermomix bowl is on, you can just press play. Walk away and it will cook your eggs to perfection. If you want to know some tips about that, you can click up in the top corner where it says show tips, and it's got some preparation methods and some tips there for you to check out. So everything you need to know is right there on your screen. Back over. We have got our browning now, which has gone rogue and got out on its own. So previously we had to use a recipe to use browning, but we can now throw that straight on there. And we've also got a steaming mode here. So steaming to perfection. So if you've ever done steaming without a Thermomix, I am terrible at it. All of my meat just tastes like just dripping wet. It just has never worked for me without a Thermomix. So what I love about this is you can actually tell the Thermomix how you're cooking. So if it's with the basket, which shows you the picture of the basket here, if it's with the Varoma and the basket, or if it's just with the Varoma, and it's going to make sure that that steaming temperature is perfect every single time. Again, you've got your tips up in the top corner. Another one of my favorites is the slow cooker thickening, which is what Dorothy's using at the moment, but I especially love that for gravies. And we've got another new one, which is called open cooking. So if you want to see open cooking in action, it's where you're actually cooking without a lid and the blades don't spin. So think about anything that you would usually do on a saucepan, where you're getting like full heat going into your food at all times. This is going to be a lot more gentle. Your power bill's not going to be skyrocketing because it's actually going to stop when it gets to that proper temperature, and it's going to stop pumping that heat through. So you're going to get a lot more consistency by using your Thermomix with open cooking. So I have put this on for another few moments. I'm just going to, thank you, give this a little bit of a taste test. Oh, poor me. Let's see how this is. I'm probably going to burn my mouth. That's so good. It literally just melts in your mouth. So, so good. You can serve this with steamed veggies or rice or whatever you want to serve it with. I'll show you. It looks like just a big brown mess. The most delicious brown mess you're ever going to have. Let me disappear for a moment. And let's keep you up as
So that was 7 minutes for our custard, and we are all done. So it does say continue and like prolong the cooking time to change the consistency. So if you are wanting thicker, thinner, all those kind of things, all in the tips, you can actually see that is there. So if you've got kids that love to take yogurt pouches and things like that, this one's really good. Let it cool, and you can actually buy reusable pouches, take it with you. As well as super quick if we're doing puddings and we just need a quick custard to go on top, or just by itself. It's got that little lemon zing to it as well, so you can definitely enjoy it as it is. We've got Jessica saying, I leave the sugar out and add chocolate. Yum. So really flexible. There is a beautiful recipe called the Harlequin chocolate, I believe. Sorry, Harlequin custard. And there's pink custard in there. So lots of ways that you can use the same 7 minutes to make something really, really impressive. So another thing, just finish that recipe. Another dessert that we were going to show tonight is just how easy pastry is. So if you've ever had to make pastry by hand, it can be a little fiddly, can take a lot of time, makes a lot of mess, similar to our scones. With the Thermomix, everything's in your bowl. So you could be using this custard, pop it on some short crust pastry, and have your custard pies, make mini ones. Really, there's so much that you could do with something as simple as custard. So I hope that everybody has got something fun out of tonight, even if it's just a little bit of inspiration on how quick using your Thermomix is compared to having to do everything by hand. For me, I was not a cook before Thermomix, still not really a cook, but I would never have attempted half the things that I do attempt now because Thermomix has given me cookie dough and it's giving me the ability to try and experiment. So custard, incredible. We're going to have a really good midnight snack because I've got some great things. So Tan, do you have everything out?
Who's hungry?
I am. I just had somebody come down and steal some of my chicken too.
If you could smell how good this place smells at the moment with these scones, it's unbelievable. Let's have a look. Ow. Let's have a look at these scones. Now I'm risking my life for you guys by picking this up hot. But this is like so fluffy and so delicious. I highly, highly recommend a recipe called pear vanilla jam. So when I first started, we had a cult following of pear vanilla jam. I would make scones in the Thermomix in bulk because there's no cleaning in between when you're making scones. Make them, tip them out, make the next lot, tip them out, make the next lot, tip them out, throw them into the oven, and you've got like a real production line happening. So I had all of my followers would follow me to the school fete when the kids were in primary school, which was 11 years ago, 10 years ago. And everyone would come to buy the pear vanilla jam and the scones because they are worth traveling for. So we're going to pop this onto a plate. And by we, I am talking about Kate. So I'm just going to find something to go for that to go into. I'm not going to put it in the thermo server like I usually would. Oh, yeah, we might put it in that. That one's all getting cleaned. We're going to pop this into this because we know it'll fit. And we'll have a look at how that looks. You can pretty it up, obviously, with your little bits of parsley and stuff, but I don't think we're going to wait for that. That would have to go to the garden and no. This was supposed to be quick. So we're going to put this into here. Kate is going to sample the scones for me because I'm gluten-free. And this is the kind of sacrifice I make for you guys. My family is usually angry at me because I don't cook. Through these things, I usually MC. So what I want you to do is to pop into the chat or even come off mute and let me know if there was a tip that you got today or there is a recipe that you haven't tried before that you're now going to give a go. And I also want our consultants, because there's a few consultants who are on tonight. I'd absolutely love it. Let me have a look at who we've got here. Let's go through. Lovely Nolene. She's hiding there in the background. What are you doing in the background there, Nolene? Can you come off mute? Completely hiding. Oh, there she is. She's coming.
Hello.
Hey, Nolene. Hey, can you tell us if why you guys love to jump onto these sessions? Because these guys don't have to jump onto these sessions. We love them as consultants jumping on because we also learn lots of tips. So Noeline, was there anything that you loved about today?
Well, I come on to support some customers that I invited on tonight. So I just learn new things all the time. So I've been a consultant for 6.5 years, and there's always so many new things and recipes I haven't heard of before, like pear vanilla jam. You need to share that recipe with me, my dear.
I might. So pear vanilla jam, like there are so many recipes out there for us all to be supporting each other. And that's why this is a real community. So everyone who's on here tonight is volunteering their time to support you guys. And the way that you can support them is by, referring them on to others, letting people know why Thermomix can help them and supporting your consultant to be able to keep supporting you. So everyone has a challenge at the moment. We've had a June challenge, which ends on June 29. So if you know anyone who is sitting on the fence who's thinking to themselves, I need to order that 7, make sure you get them on there. Otherwise, anytime you're on the mix shop, please make sure that you have a good shop around. There's so much on there to choose from. And there's more to come. And we did get a little bit of a hint that at Monday night's meeting, there's going to be some new updates happening somewhere within our business that we're not going to be able to wait to tell everyone on Tuesday morning. Nolene, how much do you hate me right now? Because you don't know what it is.
No, you don't tell me because I can't keep secrets. So I can't wait till Monday to find out.
It's rough. So what we might do is we're going to take photos of all of our wear. Dorothy is going to send off a lovely thank you email to everyone with the recipes. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to either Dorothy, myself, or to your consultant, and we can help answer those questions. Make sure you're following our socials. That's where all of this information comes from. And is there anything else that we've missed, guys? Consultants? I can see here Sue's definitely doing the Mongolian lamb. Yeah, how simple. Um, Karen, buttermilk scones. How amazing. What did you love about them? Sue, what did you love about the Mongolian lamb? Kathy, what was it about the coronation chicken that you loved today? I'd love to hear what everyone loved about it, and make sure you don't keep us a secret. Spread the word. Has anyone got any questions before we disappear? Excuse me, choking. Curry.
Definitely make the curry powder. You will not regret it. It actually roasts the herbs and everything, the spices beforehand. So it is absolutely beautiful.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And these are the things that we found out through our own classes and talking to other consultants. Like it's the best way to learn about your Thermomix is to become a consultant. So there's always that option. If that's the only thing you get out of it is learning new recipes, and it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. So thank you to everyone for jumping on tonight. It was great to see you all. Thank you to Dorothy, who organized tonight. She has done an amazing job. Thanks, Dorothy.
Thank you very much.
And I can't wait to see you all again soon. If there's something you did love, jump on. Must be doing this all the time. If there is something that you did love, make sure you share it on socials. Thank your consultant for what they do for you. And keep an eye out for the next one because I'm sure it's coming soon.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. I can't believe I just have to watch everybody eat this.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, everyone.
I'm actually sad because I don't have any bread in the house. And I'm like, do I bake some bread just so that I can make myself a sandwich?
The answer to that is yes. Or
Yeah.
Brazilian cheese puffs because they only take like 10 minutes. Brazilian cheese puffs, chop them in half, put the coronation chicken on top, and they're great for entertaining.
I might just end up eating it with a spoon.
Do you have any crackers? Throw it on.
No. I've got nothing in the house today. More out.
Uh, thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Em. Just the two of us.
Is there any else left?
Yeah, it's only us. Yeah, just four.
We are 4 people.
We are friends. Yeah, I found my thermo server jug. They put me custard in there.
Yum, yum, yum. This house smells so bloody good. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, and as for this meat,
I don't know why I'm bending over now. Oof.
deliciousness. So how'd you feel that went?
Pretty good, I think. I don't know. Yeah, the people who registered, they weren't actually here, but I think they registered to get the recording. So
Which is still awesome, even though we started partway through. Thank you.
oh yeah, it was only like after the chat. We didn't actually
Oh,
lose any.
recording right now? Yes, we are.